Aloha from Malaysia. As I've said in many previous videos, I was sick and tired of paying for genocide, and unavoidably US citizens, European citizens to a large extent, the United Kingdom. When we go to buy a coffee or a beer or a meal, we're paying taxes, and some of that, especially in America, is going to pay for genocide. So it feels good to remove myself from a system that would make me a guilty party. I'm not casting judgment on those who still live there, but hey, this is the way I think, and it feels good not to pay for that anymore, especially those 2,000-pound bombs that are dropping all over Gaza, devastating not only Gaza, the West Bank is being genocided as well, Lebanon, now we see Syria has fallen. You know, in all my experiences in Palestine, those times in Gaza were life-changing, to say the least. And I am in touch with family over there to this day. I received a message. They're starving. They have no place to go. It's winter. They're cold. It's brutal. It is absolutely brutal. And it makes me think that what I've been saying, the warnings I have been giving, and the words I have spoken many times, Gaza is coming to you. Boy, oh boy, does that apply when we look at these fires in Southern California, where I grew up. I was born and raised in California, mostly in San Diego, where my mom left me a home, and also in LA. So I know Southern California very, very well. I grew up there. I did what every Southern California kid does. I had a good time playing football. Yanks call it soccer. You know, chasing girls, getting drunk, and doing the kind of silly things that you do when you're a young boy, young man. But ultimately, I left all that to join the Marine Corps. But nonetheless, my experiences in Southern California taught me many lessons. And I look at it and I see that Gaza has come to LA. We look at Hollywood. Recently in the Golden Globe Awards, they mocked God. For those that didn't see it, for those that won awards, they went up and they do their acceptance speech. And of course, they all give credit to the Jeffrey Weinsteins of today. They used to all give credit to Jeffrey Weinstein. Remember him? And they give credit to the producer. They give credit sometimes to the cast and crew. They give credit to everybody but one entity. And they made a point of putting that on the Golden Globe Awards. Mentions for God, Almighty God. Zero. Well, isn't it ironic that Los Angeles is burning now, including Hollywood? And while I'm not a vengeful person, and I wish nobody to burn to death like they've been burning to death with incendiary bombs in Gaza, but I have to say, if karma is a reality, and I know that it is, karma is being paid now by Hollywood, the music industry, and those that just covet the material, coveting the material, putting material above virtue, service, sacrifice, things that I love Jesus for, things that I love Malcolm X for, things that I love all of the most noble people for. Those things take a backseat to how much money do you make, what kind of car do you drive, who do you know? That is your measure in Southern California. And it is why when my mother left me a home when she passed on, God bless her, I had a home in San Diego where I grew up. I'd love that home, actually. And it's in a beautiful part of San Diego, really, not far from Mission Bay, Pacific Beach, Ocean Beach, La Jolla, all of it. But I knew when she passed on, and of course, number one was I lost my mother. That the world changed for me that day. I can honestly say that's the only time I've really been depressed. I went through my morning, and when the dust settled a bit and I looked at this home, I knew right away, no way am I living in Southern California. I have a different set of values. I care about humanity. I care about this world. I care about the children that aren't being reported, who are being raped and enslaved around the world. It's a fact. It is a fact. And those that live in Southern California and Maui, and funny enough, I was in Maui when those so-called wildfires were occurring. These aren't wildfires. These are directed energy and weather modification. But I also believe there's a combination of man-made, satanic, depopulation agenda, within this, no doubt about it. I have no doubt whatsoever directed energy is responsible. Look at those blue roofs in Maui that didn't burn down. Look at the blue that didn't burn. Look at it. It's there if you really want to find it. I also believe that there is a lot of truth going back to the Bible in Sodom and Gomorrah. What was happening in Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, if we look at what was happening back then, all of that is happening right now in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, and in Southern California. People who covet the material, people who have lost all morality, people who will rape children, people who will get rewarded for raping children with high positions of celebrity and fame and money and all of this. We saw in 2024 so much being exposed. It really was the year of revealing. I pray, and I shall fight, that 2025 be the year of justice. And perhaps we're watching justice play out right now. Look at James Woods. You know James Woods, the actor? Hey, as an actor, I've appreciated much of what he's done. But that son of a bitch said, kill them all, when it came down to the invasion of Gaza post-October 7th, where we heard all of these lies about Hamas. God bless them. God bless them. When they had a chance to rape their prisoners, although they were accused of it, that's what Israel does. Everything they say their enemy does is what they are doing. They are projecting their own crimes. There is no evidence. To the contrary, those that were taken as prisoners of war by Hamas were treated with respect, kept together as family members, even given birthday parties while they were there. Meanwhile, what do the Israelis do to the Palestinians? Anal rape with red-hot metal rods. Fact. And then they riot, because in their twisted Talmudic mind, they have the right to rape us goyim. And you know what? Us goyim are 99.8% of the human population, whereas the Jewish population of the world is 0.2%. How the fuck did we allow 0.2% to rule over us in debt and enslave? Usury. That's how. And I call on all so-called Muslims and Christians, and I'm going to make the distinction between fake-ass Muslims and Christians and real Muslims and Christians, both of which know that usury is unacceptable. Period. End of story. No exceptions. And yet, usury, Jewish usury, let's be real, has resulted in the United States now $35 trillion in debt. The United Kingdom, £7 trillion in debt. The global debt, about $323 trillion. Is that payable? No, it's not. Is it meant to be payable? No, it's not. What is the actual intention? To enslave all of us, and those of us like those in Southern California and Hollywood in particular, who covet the material, who wish to be famous, ego on steroids. Many of your homes are burning now. Is that justice? I have to make a special shout out to Mel Gibson. With what he's done, Passion of the Christ, with what he said, God bless him, man. But if you look at his attitude on Joe Rogan and what he said, he puts things in perspective, man. Material, money, that's whatever. That's all passing. You can't take that shit with you. But I tell you what's more precious than any amount of money or fame or any of that crap. The fancy cars and the mansions and all of this stuff. What's more important than that? Your soul, which Hollywood actors sell. They sell their soul to Satan, as do the media, the prostitutes of propaganda, lying to us forever, lying to us. Those who sell their soul deserve what they shall be judged to get. Hell and hellfire. And you know what? The Jewish Talmudic Zionist pedophile bankster cultists, they say that Jesus is boiling in hot excrement in hell. You go fuck yourself right there. They say that Mother Mary is a whore. You can go fuck yourself again for that. Israel, the capital of pedophilia, the capital of transgender homosexuality, and the ruler of our nations in America, in the United Kingdom, largely throughout Europe, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all of you. Shame on all of us for allowing that crap to happen. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, while I intend to live as long a life as possible, I will die before I will bow to that shit. Because I know this soul here is precious, and it is not for sale. I love Palestine. God bless you, Palestine. Historic Palestine will be restored, and the right of return will happen, and it ain't the law of return by the Jews. It's for the Palestinians. Fucking Palestine. God bless you.